Alrighty, everybody. This is my recap for my week 2 of the Boylston Chess Foundation. I'm playing against Justin Guerra. Hopefully, I'm saying that right. Yeah, this is kind of an exciting one. First off, no spoiler for what happened in this game, but my opponent afterward, we reviewed the game together, which was really nice. Intelligent guy. And he said, by the way, I scouted you. And I said, what? I said, I don't have any games online that you could scout. And he said, I saw your YouTubes. And I was like, oh my god, those are just supposed to be for friends. I'm getting all of 15 views, and apparently he's one of them. Whoopsies. I hit back on my mouse while I was cleaning it. Alright, no worries. So my opponent knew a little bit about me, and he's also been able to walk around the chess hall. He's looked at my games. I knew nothing about him, other than I obviously looked at his ratings, and he is the strongest player that I have played yet. That actually, if you pause there, you would have seen a spoiler for what happened, so we won't kind of check the pairings. But it seems as though Justin Ralph Baldovino Guerra is about 16, I think he was like 1650, 1670, something like that. And so far, every opponent I've played has been, the highest has been 1500, where I won, but a lot of people have been pretty low rated. So although I have a lot of wins entering tonight, I'm 8-2, I'm going to be honest, about half of them are against players that I should beat every time, to be honest. So I looked forward to this, thinking that he's going to be the toughest opponent I've had yet, and he's going to be a real test. I also looked at his rating, kind of his performance, and it's really hard to list where I am, because if you look online, Blitz ratings, Rapid ratings, I'm about 1700 on chess.com, and a lot of the converters literally just have it as like a 1-to-1. So depending on where I put my own strength, again, from online to real chess, really, classical, maybe it should be about 1700. So far, though, in my experience, even players who are like 1200 seem to know what they're doing. Now, online, if I play Blitz against someone who's 1200, I expect to beat them every single time, to be honest. I might not beat them every single time, but 9 times out of 10. Over the board here, and for classical, that has really not been the case. Noting that, of course, I did lose to, I've lost twice entering tonight. Alright, and I kind of thought that if I smoked Justin, then that means that my rating is probably somewhere up here. And if he smokes me, that means my rating is probably down here. And obviously, if it's like a really combative game, then I'm probably somewhere in the middle. So that's kind of what I was using this as the baseline. A little bit more about my opponent. I don't think I need to show that anymore. We can go back to the chessboard. 2 things. First off, Justin is the assistant tournament director, so he seems to really know his way around sort of the club. It seems though he has a lot of experience. I looked at the games. He's played a lot, so he's definitely savvy. For the record, he seems though he's in his 20s. I don't know, Justin, you watch these videos, so maybe you can correct that if necessary. But I was basically looking ahead to tonight, thinking that my opponent was clearly the best player that I've played yet. But also, it seemed as though he knows the ins and outs. He also was the tournament director, so I thought that he'd have added responsibility, and so a little bit of like the foibles at the board. This actually threw me off a little bit. For the first 20 minutes, my man kept getting up kind of abruptly. Like I would be thinking, he would look at it, and then he would go to someone else's board. I know he's doing tournament director stuff. He wasn't trying to like gamesmanship throw me off, but I will say I was a little thrown off. And the truth is, he knew the opening very well. Spoiler alert, I looked at this very, very briefly just because I was one spot on a computer I was curious about. So this isn't completely to virgin eyes, but it's mostly to new eyes. And he would basically go to the board, click it, and then send it back to me. So because he was walking around so much, even though he was making his moves nearly instantaneously, our clock usage was very similar throughout the game. He would get up a lot, and so I would generally play my move when he would get up. And of course, there's one time or two where you had to do tournament director stuff. I said, hey, Justin, if you want, feel free to, time out the time if you're actually doing, responsible stuff. He's like, no, don't worry about it. So he was pretty nice about that. At the board, again, I had a strategy, and I'm wondering if this was the right strategy. But basically, I didn't know that he was going to scout me or anything like that, so I guess I'm glad I sort of mixed it up. But entering tonight, I thought that he would be, given he's played a lot of games, he's not like a young kid like 8 or 11 where he's like super underrated, but he's clearly like a very solid player. I thought I shouldn't do anything too tricky in the opening, and then I should just try to get to like a mid-game, essentially play something kind of boring. I know that that's not the most exciting. It's not really my go-to, but online, especially in Blitz, I do play a fair amount of London. It's probably the simplest opening, to be honest. And I kind of game planned it where I double-checked the London. Excuse me. I have to drink more water. And I kind of came in thinking, all right, I'm going to try to be boring. There's an adage that I've heard that if you have lost a game, the next one you should try to draw, basically. I think it's probably stupid advice. Maybe that's applicable to like master level play, but it was kind of what was going through my mind to an extent. Maybe weak tight, I'm not sure, but this is my. I leapt up in the the opening groups, so I thought that approach should serve me well. I also thought that if my apologies, my throat is definitely bothering me. I also thought that if he's really good and I just play solidly, he'll crush me either way. So if I do something fancy, he'll probably blow me off the board. Whereas if he's whereas if we extend the game basically, then we'll just we'll see where each other's talents are. For the record, and again, spoiler alert, if I play him again, which I'm sure at some point I will, because I intend on keep playing at Boylston, that's for sure. I'm probably going to mix it up because, in retrospect, when we went over the game, and for the record, he plays the opening at 100% accuracy, he basically said, like, all the kids are taught, the London, it's the one opening he knows backwards and forwards. So this was a real mistaken strategy for me. But there you go. That's why I kind of went into this. Because, for the record, I played D4. It's, of course, the Queen's Pawn opening. He immediately, and again, remember, he, is up at the board, he's kind of moving around, hodgepodge, going to other people's boards and slamming the clock. And again, this is probably the only time usage thing I'll point out. I generated a very small time edge, but it was never really that relevant. I don't think I ever had a deep thought where I spent 20 minutes on the board, but I was consistently spending, especially in the opening, just to make sure I was making the right moves or so. I was very deliberate, if that makes sense. There were only 2 moves I blitzed out. Once we got into the game because they were automatic. I mean, obviously a few automatic moves. Anyway, obviously against just the Indians, so like a Nimzo system. Oftentimes I just play C4 here. Of course, the London would be to bring the bishop out to F4. C4 is a move. I could have also just played knight to F3. That's something very typical that I do as well. But again, I kind of was aspiring to be boring. I'm not really a boring player, so maybe this isn't the style that suits me. We'll just play a few moves forward. I'm not hardly an open theoretician expert, so I don't want to spend too long on these kind of moves. They're pretty, I wouldn't say standard. Again, it was opening theory, but again, I don't know it well enough to pontificate about the pros and cons of other moves and whatnot. I'm gonna just kind of blitz out what is pretty normal. These are all book, basically, with the London, of course, building the system, getting the bishop on the outside of the pawn chain. I'm trying to develop, and then, going to castle. So, very, very clear cut. Again, kind of boring, to be honest. My man plays d6, a very, very normal move. I play knight f3, which is the best move. It's the right move. Again, I'm pretty familiar. I had to take a few more minutes than him just because I wanted to make sure that they were the right moves. For example, I end up developing the bishop to d3. Technically, you're actually supposed to put it on e2. Again, I think it's a very slight difference. When I compared this, explored it, very strong players sometimes do that as well. So it seems like taste rather than by the computer or anything in particular. All right. He plays bishop g7. Pretty typical. He's fianchettoing. He's very quickly going to castle. He's just getting his king to safety. It seems pretty fine. For the record, we played a lot of moves where I basically maintained a very slight edge for a while, but the main note I'll say with this opponent, he seemed incredibly solid. Incredibly solid. Last week, I'll say this as far as my psyche going into this game. Last week, I was really upset after the game because I lost, but also because I was totally winning, and I should have won that game. When we got to the spot, I had looked at the board and I had mentally checked out, because I had my opponent, Phineas Haig, dead to rights. And I completely blew it, and then it was a learning lesson with the clock and writing moves and threefold repetition, all of this bullshit. This game, I'm actually not upset about. Well, that might have been a spoiler alert, but I think I actually played decently. I just think my opponent played really well. I needed to drink some water. Maybe that means I win. Anyway, we'll see. Maybe it means I lose. We'll see. Maybe I drew. I don't know. The world is our oyster. All right. Definitely easier when I'm trying to not spoil or so, because I can just say what I think in retrospect. Anyway, nothing about this really bears worth mentioning. H3 is to prevent these different jumps and also prevent him from developing his light square bishop. It's a book move. We're going to be ending playing the East Indian, sort of just the London. Very, very classic. Classic. He then castles. It's a move. C5 is the other one, striking out at the middle of the board. And yeah, this is what I mean. Like, apparently it's bishop to E2. I played bishop D3, which is still fine. It's in the top moves, but it's a slight inaccuracy, and this is technically where we exit book, but we actually get right back on nearly immediately. He now lashes at C5. I always was expecting this move, and I thought the right thing to do is actually ignore it, believe it or not, with castling, and the computer says I play the best move, which is nice. Castle. And again, if you look at the state of the board, my man has a strong bishop on this diagonal. These pieces are undeveloped for me, and if he can ever break through, then I have a real weakness there. However, again, I wouldn't quite say it's double-edged. It is double-edged, but in response, he has a really bad bishop, the light square bishop. He's also not developed, excuse me. And I have a little bit more activity in the center of the board. And that's kind of like the classic. It's technically a very thin margin, but, again, who the fuck knows? It's a pretty equal game. He plays knight c6, which is the best move. And retrospect, when we were going over it, I wasn't sure if this was right, because I thought that ideally I'd be able to play c4 to kind of build a big center. But it does look like I played the best move here, which is c3. And the reason why, it kind of makes sense. If he takes, I want to lock down the center. If he pushes, I can just then retreat to the square where it should have been, to be honest, at the start. And I'm trying to kill off the scope of his bishop just to make it a bad piece, because normally the Finchetto dark square bishop is really, really strong. So it made sense to me. I didn't think too long. I thought that was the right move. Looks like computer agrees. When our little recap, and again, and actually our recap after, I'll point out, I'm learning a lot of people at the club at this point. I know like half the people. But there was a guy, he must be a strong player. He just kind of looked at the board. He was kind of talking with Justin a little bit. I don't know this kid's name. But there was one crucial point, and he just shrugs, nah, the position looks fine, which was interesting. His analysis or evaluation was on the ball, because there was one point where I was very worried, and I don't think I needed to be as worried as I was. Nevertheless, once I play this, he now goes c takes. Of course, that's the outside pawn. It's kind of what he wants. And I have my first big decision. I was thinking on his time, I think he was up, kind of walking around, and it looks like these two moves are completely equal. Who cares? I don't know what's right. I don't know. He said he was expecting me to take with the C. I ended up taking with the E pawn, and my thinking was very easy. I thought that I wanted to fight for this file, and by having it be an open file, I'd be able to slide my rook over. Furthermore, there are some lines where I might want to retreat my dark square bishop, and if this pawn was here, I'm always going back to h2. So that's kind of it. I guess it would have been better for me to take with this pawn, maybe, so I have a square to develop the knight. But again, I'm trying to kill off his bishop, so that's why. Even though the two moves are dead even, that was my thought process. Nonetheless, I go E takes on d4, and he plays knight d5. For the record, what's funny is the computer doesn't like this move, but this was the move I thought he was going to play. The reason why is this is generally a pretty good piece. Ideally, I'd double up and trade off for his dark square bishop. And I thought that this was what he was going to do, and I kept thinking what I'm supposed to do. Now, apparently, I should just immediately draw back to g3, and that was one of the things I was considering. I was considering all these moves, funny enough. I knew I should not give him this trade. Well, of course, right now it's not defended. So I knew something like queen d2 is bad, because if I give him this trade for free, it's a slight win for him. So I looked at retreating it all the way to h2, which is part of the reason why I played h3, so I'd have a square for the bishop. And part of me saw, going to g3, just continuing to fight for, along the e file. I thought about dropping all the way back. It kind of ruins the placement of my rooks. So I came down for my candidate moves between playing bishop g5 to basically pin the e pawn. Obviously, if he pushes, whoopsies, he loses his queen. Or immediately dropping. And I got excited because I thought, now, according to the computer, I'm wrong. I played the fourth best move of it. Um, I thought in situations where he pushes his pawns, he's weakening his king with my light square bishop, and I would be able to abuse that, basically, if this pawn moves. That's what I was thinking. And obviously, if he ever pushes this pawn, for whatever reason, the f-pawn, that's massive, horrible for his position, and I'd have long-term a lot of play along the a2 to g8 diagonal. So that's kind of what I was thinking. The computer says that I shouldn't want him to expand, because I guess he's getting like a fast attack, and he kind of wants to play those moves. But these are the things I don't really know, because I wanted him to expand. I felt this weakened the pawns around his king, and I could still always get back to this g3 square rather than develop it immediately. So you live and learn. Yeah, I mean, I didn't know that this is like worse for me. I thought it was better for me. You know what I mean? So this is what I went into. Alright, so on move 10, I played bishop g5. He chased me with h6. I, of course, draw back to bishop h4. It's the only move. I'm still putting the diagonal. And the whole time, I was... And, like, alright, this is the one time... I don't think I used 20 minutes, but this is the only time I did a very long think. And I kind of laughed with him after the game, because I said, dude, I spent 15 or 20 minutes thinking about what would happen if you push this, because I was looking at the sack, and then he didn't even play it. So for the record, that's why maybe I should stop thinking so long about like those potential sacks. But I evaluated that the sack is really good for me, and I was trying to figure out if it should be on with the bishop or the knight. And I haven't checked this with the computer at all. I thought that it was better to sack with the knight, so that I have long-term the pressure on the queen. I thought that I have some checkmate potential. I did see he have a drop-back move, but at the minimum, his king would be ripped open, and I thought that was really good for me. Now, he bamboozled my plan by going knight to f4 in this spot, which is a really good move, I think. In fact, it's the best move in the position. And after the game, he said he didn't want to just get into where I would sack, so more power to him. He was correct not to. And as soon as he plays this move, I'm a little upset, because, again, I spent all my time on potential sacks. I decided it was good for me, and then he doesn't even let me go into it. I just kind of want to show it, just because I'm really curious, because this was, again, the time I spent the most amount of time. If he pushes, yeah, I decided that the knight was the better sack target. That's right. Apparently, according to the computer, it's still better to not sack. You basically drop the bishop to g3, and you play this position where he's a little bit ripped up. I was considering that too. I wasn't sure I was going to sack, but I really was thinking about it. But this was the line that I saw. This is what I was going to go into, for the record. Yeah, this is what I was prepared to do. I thought it was interesting and potentially winning. Yeah. So I saw all this. I saw he could... They say to just immediately... Yeah, there's a few moves that all kind of work. Moving this out of to break the pin. f6 is an idea. I thought that he could drop the knight, possibly. Huh. Yeah, there's a lot of moves that are all decent, but nothing is great. Like, for the record, if he plays f5, for example, my follow-up, what do they want? Yeah, I mean, they even say that I can, like, almost immediately win back pieces. And the reason why is I saw this. I thought that if as soon as he moves this pawn, I'd have the long-term with possibly the bishop or the queen. Obviously, I'm considering bringing here, not when he blocks. If he plays, like, this move, I was considering bringing the knight on in to h5. Yeah, which the computer likes. This is what I was going to do. This is what I saw. And then they say, now the computer just wants to play f5 to stop it. Interesting. Yeah, I didn't consider that, playing this to get me to play there and then push again. Because I saw every other line, I've just, the game's over, basically. So, yeah, whoops. And then I saw this, checkmate, obviously. Fuck. That sucks. Because this is what I really wanted to get into. Not surprisingly, this is mate for me, so... Alright, well, that's what I wanted to play. I guess kudos to him for not going into this. Yeah, so instead he plays knight f4. And as soon as he plays this, I built up a small time edge. It was all gone at this point. We're 11 moves in. According to the computer, it's a pretty even position, but I don't really have any attack. My knight is in a stupid place. Man, I really wish he had pushed so I had a chance to sack, because I think that would have been interesting and not necessarily winning, but I would have had the initiative. Yeah. All right. Well, you live and learn. That's an interesting position for sure. But he plays the best move in the position, and props to him because that's not a move that I was thinking about. Again, I was looking at that. I was looking at him immediately retreating his queen in this position, or excuse me, in this position. Yeah, queen b6. Okay, or immediately bringing it out there. All right. I was looking at that, and yeah, it seems like he just no, not here. Yeah, here. I was looking at queen moves. Yeah. Computer likes it, for me, if he was to do this. Because my plan was to bring my rook in and just kind of play on this file. And it likes it. I mean, it's hardly like winning or anything. It's a comfortable position, though. And this is what I wanted. But he spoiled it. And again, props to my opponent. He played the best move in the position. And this is not a move that I saw. Again, when I was looking at like what they would likely do. And the reason why is he's obviously threatening to just trade. This light square bishop is worth more than his knight, and if he kills off this piece, I just never have any attack here. I thought my only line was to go c2, dodge it, but I also realized as soon as I play this, now if he ever pushes, I am never sacking because I don't think I have it here. Yeah, it was a good move, moving his knight to f4, really strong actually. All right. Nonetheless, I move back to bishop c2. He now plays queen c7, which apparently is a slight inaccuracy. Apparently, queen d7 is a little bit stronger. I don't really know why. These are the moves that I don't really understand. Computers also recommend g5 immediately in this position. Yeah, which is what I saw. Nonetheless, he plays queen c7. And apparently this is not great. Oh, look, and I play the best move. All right, well, I'm pretty proud of myself. I looked at this position, and the two moves I'm considering are getting my rook out on the file, or prophylactically moving my bishop so this is never moved with tempo, and lining it up on his queen. And I made the best move. And this is a move I didn't think about very, very long. It seems like it's the best move. Again, proud of myself. Pleased with myself there. As I played bishop g3, thinking, of course, I'm attacking this knight, but really it's because of what's behind it, and I'm going to try to gain the e-file supremacy. Nonetheless, he then plays the best move. Of course, he has to defend this piece. He plays e5. It's what he's been trying to play. And once he does that, all right. I thought I had two moves. I thought I could either take the file immediately or trade. And when I evaluated this position, when I really thought about everything, I thought, all right, I know that this piece is generally stronger than this piece, but if I trade, he's going to have double pawns. He's going to have 3 pawn islands and an isolated pawn in the middle. His bishop's still not that good. Shouldn't the position just be good for me? And the computer agrees, and when we evaluated this middle game, I did say, because we had mentioned how I didn't really get anything out of the opening, but I disagree. I did get something out of the opening. I think my position is, plus 0.4 is nothing like massive, but I felt really comfortable, and it looks like this is decent for me. So I went for it. So I feel pretty good about that. Anyway, I take with the bishop. Obviously, he takes with the e-pawn. Otherwise, he'd be giving me the game on a silver platter. I certainly would have loved to take it. This is one of the moves I blitzed because I thought that that obviously once he takes that, rather than attacking it right away and letting him just connect the pawns, I want to claim the file. So I play e1 immediately. So I feel pretty good about that. Rook e1. Once I play rook e1, he starts like rerouting pieces, and obviously, I would love it if I could ever get on the 7th rank. That's my goal, right? He's got a weakness that I'd like to attack. He's got another weakness that I'd like to attack. I need to develop my my knight, and I want to get my queen off the first rank. So that's kind of what I saw as far as for this game. By the way, I think my cat. My girlfriend's here, and shut the bedroom door so not too loud, but I think my cat's like banging on that to be let open. So I'm going to be back in a minute. Yep. Not a surprise. He was stuck on in there. He was crying. He likes to batter his little head into the door, like knock, 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 and then, so I know it was, he needed to be let out. So that's little Sebastian. All right. Belle is sleeping close to me, as she always does. All right, nonetheless, he starts moving his pieces around. Now, I know a common idea is to, because he's still not developed with his light square bishop, it's bad. If he can ever trade this piece for this piece, I know it's a win for him. So there is an idea of, like, routing the bishop here, excuse me, the knight here, and then playing the bishop and basically forcing trades. He actually did this, I think, slightly suboptimally, but again, my opponent played really well. So this is not me criticizing him. I didn't think this was optimal, though. But he plays knight e7. As soon as he does that, I thought I have a bad knight. I got to get into the game. I'm certain it's the best move. All right, it is the best move. And this is why I kind of regretted having this pawn here, because I think I would have preferred to put it on c3. But yeah, all right, the computer likes my move. Cool. And then he continues his plan of basically moving his piece. He slams his knight onto f5. Of course, trading I think would be pretty bad for me. They like his move a lot. If I trade, he finally develops his last piece. He's got a pretty strong setup. Maybe these pawns are going to storm me. I don't know. Maybe I should... nah, trading is not good. Yeah. All right. And I'm kind of stuck in a spot where I really don't know what to do. So this is where I did a think, a little bit of a think. We're 17 moves in. I kept conceptually thinking to myself, all right, he's got the double pawns, he's got the isolated pawn. Our pieces are finally like in the game. He sort of has an attack, but it's a little bit slow right now because I don't see his queen jumping in quite yet. How can I make progress? I wasn't sure the answer to that. And it looks like the computer recommends 2 specific lines, really 3 lines. They like moving the knight out here with the idea of putting... No, just putting it out there. I guess to clear the space. I'm not sure why, but all right. So they want the knight to go to b3. There's no... I don't understand, because this square is taken away. This square is taken away. This just jumps him back, and this is blocked. So I don't that's the kind of move I don't see where it's going. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. So whatever. It's the best move in the position, but it makes no sense to me. They also like queen c1. Again, maybe because that way when I move the knight, I'm attacking this pawn, kind of forces him to push. Yeah, and then or just d3. And this is probably, I think so far this is my problem, is when I don't have a clear plan, I struggle. And I thought, this bishop's not doing much. I'm never going to trade it for the knight. Let's put it on this diagonal to maybe present some long-term problems for him. And I thought that was the right line. So that's what I did. So I play bishop b3. And I don't think it's like a bad move. Oh, cats are now scurrying around. Wonderful. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. Looks like it's still an excellent move. But that's kind of what I was thinking, because I thought it gave me an active play and something to do. All right. Nonetheless, at this point, he plays bishop d7. He's getting his last piece off. I don't quite have the rook move. I would have loved to be able to push this and push back his knight, but unfortunately this f4 pawn's actually doing a lot. He would just take. So that's long-term what I wanted. I just wasn't sure how to get it, Yeah, and he plays bishop d7. So I really was at a loss for useful moves, and I tried to think of what are some moves that improve my position. And I thought the 3 weaknesses in my position that I thought I had. Number 1, my rooks aren't set up, so I would like to move my queen somewhere. I thought it doesn't make sense to move it to e2, because he would just move either rook with tempo, and obviously it's defended. So I didn't think that was a good move. I didn't really think it made much sense on c2, queen c2, because again, it's just kind of in a wall. It's blocked by this piece as well. So I thought I wanted it on d2, and I thought in order to get it on d2, I have to move this knight. That was my thinking. Apparently, a4 is an idea, just kind of expand, take some space. Maybe even a3. Not sure why, but again, maybe just taking some space. I feel like the computer doesn't know what it wants either here. No, nonetheless, I thought an improving move, because I wasn't sure where I was going if I jumped to e4, was just to move the knight to f1. There is a saying about knights on f1, just like super safe. I thought this was like really solid. I don't think there's anything wrong with this move. I'm kind of like over supporting, just super defense. Really though, the point of the move, to be completely honest, was I wanted my queen there, and it was the safest looking square for me. So that's the true story. True story for why I played that. In response, he plays rook on f to e8. So this is the f line. He's now competing for the file, and I thought my plan was pretty obvious. I do play the best move here, which is queen d2. I want to threaten this pawn, and I want to connect my rooks. So I play it. It's what I planned with my last move. Computer gives it a big thumbs up. I'm pretty happy about that. He obviously has to protect this pawn. He could also trade here, and then I would just take back, and then he would play this. But the other moves don't seem great. He doesn't want to just give me a pawn, so he then plays g5. And I thought, in this position, obviously these pawns are a little bit threatening. I thought I was doing okay here. Like, I was fine with my position. I thought that I could own the file, and I was thinking, how do I make progress? And the way... So for the record, what I did is I played rook a to d1, which I do think is a good move. It's totally fine. But the reason why is conceptually, I thought that I wanted to be able to get my rook behind my rook and my queen behind my pawns and expand in the middle of the board this way. And I thought maybe if I leave the d pawn where it's defended, I could maybe push c4, c5, with the idea, of course, he can't slam it down because I can take it. And if he ever takes, if my rook is lined up, I'd be able to unload on his bishop. So that's kind of like what I thought there. I also thought it didn't matter much because I thought if I did this, it would force him to trade. Again, if he doesn't trade, I do start pushing my pawns. But it didn't really matter much. It was not that much thought. I kind of wanted to delay so that he'd be the first one to trade into the file, which is what I did. And he plays rook takes on e1. Obviously, rook takes is better than queen because he could then just, play the other one. So we trade. Then he plays rook e8. He's just getting the rooks off the board. And yeah, I have a few options here. I thought that the best line was to take. He has to move his bishop to kind of a stupid place. And then I'd be able to basically take the file, own the file with my queen. And I thought that I could genuinely argue that I am better here. Again, the reason why is I would own the only open file. My king feels very safe. He's got weaknesses with basically double pawns and the isolated pawn. And I thought my bishop, the light square, oh my god, drawing arrows is so freaking hard on chess.com, you have no idea, is better than his, where he's shooting into a pawn and I'm basically have a really strong attack on, or not attack, but eyeing the f7 pawn. So that's everything that's going through my mind. Now, it's crazy. The computer says that I'm up like a quarter of a pawn, which even at like Grandmaster Chess, 0.2 is really nothing, 0.3. But, so I guess I was more enthusiastic about my position than I really ought to have been. But I thought I was doing like totally well here. All right, nonetheless, we go into that line, which I think makes sense, just taking. He obviously takes. Once he takes with the bishop, I go queen d3. Oh, that's right. I played this move first. I think queen e2 would have been fine as well. I played this one to get him to either move back here, and then I basically be able to wiggle on in. And I thought I was kind of wiggling, do the wiggle way, do the wiggle way. Like maybe I could, slam on in, something like that. I don't really know. It felt precise to me, but I think it's all pretty much the same. Nonetheless, he then plays bishop d7. It is the best move. He kind of repeats the position in that sense. Yeah, I'm stuck where, yeah, I don't know how to make progress. I saw I could like push in here. I knew that he could never slam this down. I was considering playing queen c4, just getting a trade, essentially conceding that this is just a draw. Yeah, I didn't know what was correct here. Like I was playing moves, thinking I was doing like the right stuff, but not really sure how to. I wasn't really sure how to like make any more progress at this point, to be honest. Yeah. he wasn't. I mean, the key is, if you noticed, we played 23 moves. I don't think this guy has played a single bad move yet. He hasn't played all the most accurate moves. It's not like he's played perfectly, far from it. But he has certainly not made a single bad move. And it's much nicer when they play bad moves so that I can capitalize. Yeah. All right, I play knight 3 to d2. This nomenclature is a little bit tricky. And I forget why. Apparently it's still a fine move. I think because I'm trying... Oh, this is why. I wasn't sure which knight I wanted to move. I thought that maybe there'd be some lines where he'd be able to attack it and I'd have to bounce it. And I thought the only way to kind of corral and attack his d-pawn, because I really do want to, is to get a knight to c4. So that's what I'm looking to do. I wanted to put the knight on c4 so that I would be able to attack this pawn. That's literally my plan. Again, not sure if it's a good one. The computer says it's like totally drawish, but that was what I was going for. He then reroutes his knight to e7. Computer does like his move. Maybe he is able to push. I don't know. And yeah, I then play queen e4. I'm really trying my best to like wiggle on in somehow. Yeah, I'm just trying to like, I'm trying to get something in this position. And I'm just constantly denied all of the entryway squares. You know, if you notice, there's no way in. There's no way to make progress, at least that I can see. He plays bishop f5, essentially ejecting my queen. All right, I play the best move. I thought the only line here is to maintain some sort of threat to kind of keep his queen anchored down. I drop back to queen f3. I think it's a totally reasonable move. It is. And then he plays knight to g6, swinging it around. Again, I wasn't worried about this, but I guess I should have been. And his idea is pretty clear. It's an interesting position here. It kind of attacks my queen. So it's definitely interesting. It's definitely an interesting move. With that in mind, I realize that knight is going to be slunk on down. I think in this position, I should have looked harder at g3. Computer doesn't like g3. For the record, I play a lot of queen moves now. I play queen e2 with the idea that now I'm owning the file again. I'm kind of threatening to like finally infiltrate. Because if I'm ever able to infiltrate with this diagonal, I actually might be winning, to be honest. Wasn't sure if I was winning necessarily, but I wanted to squiggle my way on in. That's at least what I was going for. Again, he's planning on doing this. Maybe I should have just played g3. Well, no, that hangs h3. God, I don't know. As you can see, that like there's no point where I'm like able to take a lead. However, we've battled 27 moves and the game is at freaking parity. And it's also really hot in there. I think I was sweating today. And I think it was because, like, not the thermometer was on, but the AC didn't feel like it was on at all. All right, I played queen e2. He was doing a very good job of shutting down all my threats. He plays queen d7. Again, I'm not sure it is the best move. Yeah, it's really annoying. He's playing really decent moves. I have no infiltration. I'm trying to wean my way in, and he's just not letting me. And it was he did a good job of that. He then plays knight to c4. He continues just kind of... wait, does he? No, I play knight c4. Thank you. Okay, I was going to say, I'm like, how does he get over there with this knight? He doesn't. I do. And again, the reason I played knight c4, just for the record, is that's the only way I could see moving a knight to be able to attack this isolated pawn. I wasn't sure how I was supposed to gang up on it, but I thought that was his weakness, and I needed to try my best. Now, again, the computer says it's, like, totally equal. Really, I'm surprised that c4 is fine. I thought that he could just play... Here, I'll play my move first. 28, I play knight c4, which, again, is fine. This is just, yeah, it's a good move. I thought this didn't work if I played, again, lining up the battery. I thought he would play bishop e6, and they want me to play back. Okay, so this is just repeating the position. I thought that he would basically attack. I'd do something like this. I mean, is this even interesting? I don't think so. I thought my light square bishop was more valuable than his because of this. But yeah, there's just like nothing here. So I did see that, if that makes sense. All right. Well, anyway, that was the idea for why I brought my knight c4 out there on move 28. He then slams forth, knight h4, and I'm gonna be honest, I didn't quite get it. Oh, how do I put this? So he has his knight threatening, sort of, and everything I was looking at were sacks. I kept looking at sacks, and I didn't see. I thought if I ignored it completely, and this is the position. Remember when like that kid, or I don't know if it was a kid, maybe a 20-year-old, who the fuck knows, was like, yeah, position seems fine, and the truth is, it is fine. It's zeros. I reacted poorly to this move because I thought there was danger when there wasn't any. So I moved my king. I play king h2, which apparently is the first. If we're 29 moves in, this is the first mistake either player has made, I think, which is kind of nutty. The reason why is I thought if I made a random move, like let's say I just make an improving move, okay? a3, which is actually also a dumbass move. Well, see, they do think I need to respond to this threat, actually. So this is not so easy. I thought I needed to respond to the threat, too. Alright, so it's not really that easy. Well, alright, let's say I move my knight away. Like, totally, not caring. I thought he was... So, the computer just says b5, which is not in the cards. I thought a sack may have been dangerous. Apparently I'm winning here with e4, taking away IC. If I play e4, I'm taking away the diagonal. He doesn't have this checkmate, and this knight is always blocking his check. All right. He said that he wasn't going to sack or something like that, but I was a little bit worried about it. Like, that's why, like, I was maybe seeing monsters, but looking at it, this is just winning for me. So the sack just doesn't work. So I needed to not move my king, it looks like. I did move my king. Again, if I make a random move, again, some of these random moves are also losing for various reasons. Oh, right. Yes, because of f3. So, I missed the forest for the trees here. And the real threat is not a sack, but the real threat is him playing f3. Now, in retrospect, what I should have done, I think, is play g3 here. Or f3, maybe. I don't know. This seems crazy. Does this work? d5. Plays d5. I mean, there's nothing there. If he plays d5, I would take this, or move to that spot. They want him to take on e5. D takes. This didn't seem that bad. Alright, well, whatever. Yeah, is that once I play, damn. Yeah, once I play king h2, he then slams. Basically what I'm saying is, in this position, maybe f3 would be okay, and maybe, honestly, I should have played g3. How would it have gone? If he takes... f takes, g6. What do they recommend? f2. Not even defending the pawn, but long-term attacking that square, maybe? Is this no good? I'm just kind of curious. This is no good because of f4. What? Knight f4. Yeah, I have a lot of trouble, a lot of problems here. Apparently, if I go queen f3, maybe I'm holding everything together. But I'm definitely getting infiltrated myself here. Anyway, I played h2 because I thought this took away all the complications of both the pawn, and I just totally whiffed the real threat of f3. Once this is played, I realize I'm in trouble. Unfortunately, I realized it's a turn too late, you know? I then play g takes, because what the hell else am I supposed to do? He goes bishop takes on h3, bishop takes on h3, and all of a sudden it went from he's got these double pawns, all of a sudden I've got these double pawns, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, but he's got really active pieces, and I'm under a lot of pressure. Now, according to the computer evaluation, a few moves tie everything together, but as soon as this crashed through, my first reaction was, holy shit, what just happened here? I thought the position was so dry and so reasonable. Then, kind of when the gaslit is lit, I realized that, oh boy, shit is hitting the fan. Looks like I played knight to g3, which is, again, I thought I was holding everything together. Computer recommends literally going back. So basically saying whatever mistake I made, I can still grip and defend the entryway square, which makes a lot of sense because I'm also defending this square for a move I just did not see. I play knight to g3. Again, thinking, I did spend some time here. It's not like I didn't spend enough time here, but I guess I should have spent more. And had I found this move, I think I would have been fine. I'm not sure how he makes progress here. He just draws back, yeah. Yeah, alright. Alas, that is not what happened. So I played knight to g3, thinking that I'm okay here. And then I totally missed this move, which I think is this was his best move of the game, and he has a pretty sizable advantage now. He's attacking this pawn. He is threatening to bring his queen in. It's defended solidly by this knight, and I just totally didn't see this move. How long has this been? It's been 46 minutes. All right, well, the game won't last that much longer, not gonna lie. As soon as he squirrels his bishop into g2, I know I'm in a lot of trouble, and I'm looking for ways to save myself. And first, I think about the checkmate. All right, if he brings his queen in, I saw I'd move down here, and even though it's really freaking scary, he doesn't have a way of basically moving his bishop out, because I'd be able to take it. But furthermore, this knight, which is part of the reason why I moved it there, is defending the h1 square, so it doesn't have checkmate on it. So I thought, okay, he doesn't have mate right away. I then saw, oh shit, he could actually take another pawn and attack my queen, still defend it, and then basically deflect it that way, sort of come in that way. So I thought I needed to defend my f3 square, or f3 pawn, excuse me, and the only way I saw how to do that was knight to d2. Apparently g1, immediately just moving it out. I feel like I just auto lose if I play king to g1. Maybe I don't, because I guess if he takes it, I can then take his bishop. But if he takes with his bishop, then what do I do? d3. I don't know. That seems very losing to me. I played the only move I thought keeps me in it. And I will say, when I found this move, I thought I was gripping. I thought I was holding, and I thought that maybe we were drawing, to be honest. Once I played knight to d2, he plays d5, which is a smart move. I thought that he played some, like, I don't know if it's the best move. Apparently it is a miss, because he could just literally just sidestep with what do they want him to do? They want him to immediately bring the hammer down and get me kind of stuck on g1. But this move made sense, because my counterplay the whole time is to try to like line up a battery or threaten checkmate, you know? And when he slams this pawn onto d5, he shuts down my light square bishop. When that happens, I'm immediately like, oh dear God, what is going on with me? And I thought I needed to be active. Computer agrees. Now, apparently if I play g1 here, I'm salvaging this game. I didn't. I played the second best move. Nope. I played the third best move, maybe? Fourth best move? I played bishop to c2. Apparently, queen here works as well. Again, I'm not fully understanding it, but I was definitely taken for a loop at this point. I played bishop c2, and my idea here is I thought maybe I would have a long-term potential checkmate threat, because he obviously kind of has a back rank problem. So I'm threatening something myself, and B, if I ever can line up a battery, then I'm threatening to finally infiltrate and go into his position if I can arrange that. The reason why is I have to defend the square. My knight's defending it, and I thought if I could get my queen there, then I'm still defending it, and now I have a threat of my own. So that's what I was going for with bishop c2. He plays bishop f8. And as soon as he plays this, I thought this was really smart for one reason. Now, apparently it's a miss, but I saw that if he can't ever move his bishop in there to attack this knight, obviously if he ever removes the knight, boom, his queen comes in, and then boom, I'm checkmated. But he plays it here so that he can bring it out to d6 to then attack my knight. So I was kind of giving him a lot of, like, credit. I was like, damn, that's smart. But then I thought, in that position, what's funny is I thought that I could let him take, and I thought that I basically would be able to take with the pawn, and then I'd be able to buy myself a square for my king. So I thought it wasn't clear that that was checkmate either. So I was suddenly thinking, okay, maybe I'm holding everything together. That said, I needed to find a move, and I found the best move, queen to d3. Again, what I said before is I am trying to checkmate him. I'm trying to generate threats of my own, and yeah, I thought that that was the best way to do it. He finally now pins me down into the spot. These moves are forced. Again, it's not checkmate. When he played this, I did the like, oh shit, did I miss checkmate? Like, am I not actually defending everything? This move is forced. I am defending the h1 square. I'm also threatening checkmate of my own. I'm defending the nonsense here, so he doesn't have any kind of sack. And I swear, at this point, 34 moves in, I thought I was holding everything together. 34 moves in, yeah. I thought I was holding everything together. I thought I was okay here. According to the computer, I am okay here. He's now slipped. I know he ended the game with only about 10 minutes. I think at this point he's down to like 20 or so, and I have maybe 30. And God, according to the computer, it's a draw here, or at least it's very, very even. So where does it go wrong? He plays the second best move. So apparently, moving back, maybe to go here is my guess. He plays f5. And when he plays f5, I thought, God damn, that's a good move. Because again, he's shutting down my counterplay, where I want to wiggle my way in and either checkmate him or perpetually check him for a draw. God, I can never move this knight because I'm defending the square. He's now threatening f4. So I have one move here, and I needed to find it. Do I find it? No. And apparently, if I play bishop b3, I save the game. And this is the other move I considered, actually. Because then this pawn is still here for now. And I can basically check. And maybe... oh, interesting. Actually, it would be because... Interesting. I don't know if you guys are following on the right-hand side. But you're basically giving up a pawn to be able to trade queens. And according to the computer in this position, that's defendable. And that's what I should have played. And that's the other move I was thinking about. Instead, I thought I saw something better, which is queen b5. But this is the nail in the coffin. The reason why is I can't actually take, because he can now finally take my pawn, because I've remove my defender, and that was just that was the last mistake of the game. Had I played this move, I think I would have drawn. It looks like, because he can't take this pawn because I'm still defending it with two pieces. So yeah, these are inaccuracies that are really tough to find. Nonetheless, yeah. So instead, I played queen b5. My idea is pretty clear. I'm trying to get in and check him, but he just cold-blooded goes bishop takes on g2, and I think once this move is there, it's all she wrote. There's really nothing I can do. I do play the best move, queen f1, but yeah, the game is over at this point. I play queen f1. He goes bishop g2. If I play b5, queen b5, yeah, I'm not really sure what I'm fighting for here, but I play queen d3, and the game is over anyway. He goes a6, and I thought, can I even do anything here? I can't. I don't even know what b1 does. This is what I looked at the position, by the way, when I said I looked at the game at the end. I wanted to look at the final position to see if I missed a move for defense. It looks like I sort of did with the bishop b3, but only sort of. He plays a6. I wasn't sure what to do, and I thought maybe I was holding everything together. He can't push, because I obviously then have to checkmate. I thought I missed the fact that he can actually draw back, because I thought I could defend it, but actually he's still threatening checkmate there. So I thought that maybe we'd be playing. I didn't see the fact that he has basically the double checkmate effectively. His move here is technically a miss, but I don't think it really matters. I play a6, or excuse me, a3, hoping that maybe we're in a position where where he's gonna push his pawns. But now that I play that, he now takes his time, finds the win. Actually, not quite. He goes bishop d6 first, and it's still good enough. I thought that if he takes, I take, and I thought again he doesn't have a checkmate, because then I have a square to run out to. This is kind of like hope chess at this point, but it's all I really can hope for. They say I need to go queen e2, just take the file, try my best to kind of, slap it on down there. I guess my move is basically the same, queen e3. Nope, I just hung mate. Yeah, my idea is basically moving up here, but it doesn't matter that much, because he plays king f7. See, like, he was very good, these prophylactic moves, just basically, making sure that I couldn't ever get in. Yeah, once this is played, I think at this position I probably could have resigned. What happens here? Bishop d1. I thought I needed to maybe find a way to like check him and then have him run to a square. Would I be able to check him with my knight, opening up my queen on his queen? I thought that was my only real trick left in the position. And he slams the door with bishop e4. The game is over now. I play out the last few moves, just why not? I go bishop h5. He plays king f8, which is the best move. I play bishop f3. Again, at this point, I could have resigned, but I play a couple moves anyway. And I made a joke at the end saying, I think you can beat me up a queen. He takes with his bishop on f3. I take with my queen. I sack my queen. He takes with his knight. I take with my knight. And as soon as I take with my knight, I resign the game. So I said, I don't think I want to play out this position anymore. So, where are we? It's now about an hour. This has been a long recap, but it was it was quite the game. I don't think I played that badly at all. I don't think I attacked him. I think hopefully I'm spelling his name right. I'm not sure. No, white did not win. Black won. Basically, yeah, let's do this. Let's save this first. So, alright. Let's check the review real quick, because it's worth kind of looking. And, like, my opponent... So, like, this is what I mean. Like, I double checking this. I played okay tonight. 78.3 is, like, not bad. I've had some better games. I think I could have been a little more dynamic in the opening. I did plan on sacking, and he played around that. I think he played a good game. Now, again, I have no idea what these ratings, like, how accurate they are. Like, maybe he did play at a 2200 level, according to chess.com. Maybe I played at a 900 level. Who the fuck knows? If you look at it, he was perfect in the opening. My opening was fine. In theory, it's kind of what I wanted. He was just slightly better in the middle game. My accuracy was okay. 72 is not bad, but it's nothing special. I definitely made a few mistakes, and then I panicked in a position that I didn't really need to panic, and I didn't quite find the counterplay when I needed to, or the right moves to defend, when I was kind of put in a vice. We played a lot of moves where I really was trying to push him a little bit. He didn't break at all, And these are just like dead even games. And honestly, maybe I should have just tried to look more aggressively for a draw. Yeah, I'm not losing sleep over this one though, because last week I was robbed. There's no other way to say it. I was very robbed. This week, my opponent played well. He didn't really make mistakes. Again, he didn't play like perfect moves, but he played pretty well. And I had a few chances maybe to like flip it to defend myself. And he had a pretty strong attack like over here. Maybe I should have saved the game. And then he found like the decisive checkmate when I was really put in a tough position with not that much time left. So what does this mean? It means I'm 0 wins, 0 draws, and 2 losses in the August Swiss. I'm getting my ass kicked, which is rough. I'll go back to this standings. 0 points. I play Yuran Shi next round, who has drawn and lost. And I'm going to be honest. I'm playing as white. For me to salvage this monthly tournament, I need to win. Now, looking at Yuran She, again, I'm pretty sure I ought to be and should be better than 1400 or 1440, but I do need to convert. So I'm going to try everything I can to beat this person. And then I haven't played Dumisio Birchwood, who's winning the tournament, who I probably won't play. So the last round, I'll probably play Daniel Paley. Again, another 1400. So basically, if I can win out, I'll get white this round and black next round. If I can get 2 wins to end the tournament, I'll be fine. My rating won't be suffering too much. In fact, I don't think it will suffer at all if I end up 2-2. And I can definitely salvage it for sure. By the way, this guy I've befriended, Ben Gross, super nice guy. We were talking before the game. I'm really glad he won. I'm going to give him the plaudits because I think I'm going to play on Thursday to remedy myself, and I'm going to give him, I'm going to say, nice win, dude. He's a really nice guy. All right. Anyway, I don't think I have any other commentary. I know this is a long recap, but it was a long game. It was lengthy. I played. Honestly, I don't think I played that badly. I think I played decently. My honest take on this is anyone else other than Justin that I've played so far at the tournament, anyone else I would have beaten with the way I played today, which is to say decent, but not special for me or not particularly good, but I definitely played decently. But he was good enough where my decent was not good enough to beat him. So that's kind of the way I think about this. I'm sure I'll get my revenge, or I hope I do at some point. Thanks a lot for watching, listening, and again, I have a feeling Justin may have watched this one as well, in which case, more power to you, buddy. Good win. I hope I get you back next time. Anyway, that's it. I'm going to sign off here. Really hope I can rally, and if I win out, it'll be a decent tournament. So it's still salvageable. All right. Have a good one.